My name is Clarissa Perry. I'm a pipe welder. I've been here about 2 years. ACI actually hired me straight out of John Tyler's welding program and has wonderfully trained me in our beautiful shop. And I'm brand new out into the field. I've been out about a month with Advanced 6. So yeah, that's where I am. I went to college and I loved it. And I came out with absolutely no ability, no understanding of what I was going to do for a living. And I gave myself a 6-month hiatus and I went and hiked the Appalachian Trail. And I realized how much I like to be outside. I mean, I always knew. I was a Girl Scout, I camped, I did all this stuff, but I spent 6 intensive months outside. And I met all these really fabulous people who had done all these things, and this one fellow that I kept seeing, because it's 2,000 miles, you kind of bump back into people. He was a semi-retired underwater welder, and he was in his 60s, and I kept talking to him, and he's like, yeah, you'd probably be a good welder, and that kind of just stuck. And I realized that I wanted to do something that was manual, that I had a finished product. I really love that this has a finished something, that I did that. And he glommed onto that I'm someone that likes to see my finished product. And so I came out, finished the trail, and started looking for programs to learn. And John Tyler just happened to be 5 miles from my parents' house and had a great program, and I just kind of fell into it from there. And then Matt Gross is the leader there, and he helped me get the job here. So yeah. Today I helped build a steam line. I was up on a scaffold and we lifted 1 inch or 1/2 inch carbon steel up into the air and welded it in place. And that's when you're in the field, that's what you do. You do a little bit of fabricating on the ground, and then you lift it up and you put it where it's got to go. In our shop, which I was doing previous to this, it's all smaller fab. It's all pieces that are movable, and we do get isometric drawings that show us kind of what the whole thing is supposed to look like, but it's all broken up. And so switching from shop welding to field welding, you're going from partial view to whole view. And so that's kind of what I'm doing now. I'm getting to see installation of things and seeing how they actually work, and thinking about, oh, there's actually something going to run through this tomorrow. And so yeah. I have really appreciated that ACI does have this training program that I've gone through. It is pretty big that we have it. It's not something that a lot of other companies have. It is inclusive. We have a lot of talent here. We have a lot of knowledge, and I loved coming into the shop, and I have been able to learn from everyone in that shop and now out in field, because we really have a lot of very knowledgeable people. I would probably tell a young woman coming in, you are going to stick out. You are going to stick out, and that's okay. Be strong, deal with it, realize that you are, and then move forward. And that's probably the best thing that you can do. Just allow it to be. And your work will show it. For your work ethic and your work and your person will show itself. And that's probably the best thing I could say. I will say one of the most satisfying things I've had here is passing tests, because you'll come in and you'll practice this for weeks sometimes, and infuriatingly it just never turns out, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm sort of getting it, and then you've got it, and then you test and you get back results. In order to pass something, it has to go through x-ray, and you get your x-ray results back, and you're like, yes. And so that's very satisfying. So yeah, that first test, I remember being so exceptionally nervous because it's a 2-part test. You have a stick piece and or a piece that you have to stick weld and a piece you have to TIG weld. And I had just struggled with that stick piece for probably 6 or 7 weeks and done it almost all day for weeks at a time. And I remember not breathing for that first pass, like a whole minute of like, and pulling my shield up and like, and when it finally came back, just that, it was an exuberant feeling. Like, so yeah. I do love to hike. I really do love to hike. That's actually how I met my husband. We were both hiking the Appalachian Trail, and I got horrendously sick, and I got really sick, and I had gotten off trail for a couple of days, and my aunt and uncle in Connecticut had picked me up and like tried to nurse me back to health, and I'm trying to get back on, but I was still sick. And they dropped me off on trail, and they picked him up as a hitchhiker because all the AT people like hitchhike to get to trailheads, and picked him up and told him to look for me. And he found me like a mile or two uphill, heaving, and he made sure that I got to camp that night and like hiked with me the whole day and was super sweet. And so I found welding on the Appalachian Trail, and I actually also found my husband. So yeah. And we were married in October, a couple months ago.